Yes, thank you very much, Ross. Thank you, everyone, for attending this product presentation of mainly MailStore Server, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about our Service Provider Edition product. Before I start, I actually have a question. Who of you is already an active reseller of MailStore Server? Okay, that's a few one. And who of you are into the service providing business with hosting email services or similar services? Okay, and I hope you are all interested in hosting also an archiving solution, right? Okay, sounds like you are. Okay, first of all, the introduction of email archiving with MailStore Server. I tried to answer a few questions first about why should I archive email at all. That is especially interesting for those of you who are not into the email archiving business yet. But I think every of your clients should think about archiving email. There are many reasons for that. I'm trying to sum up just the 5 important ones later. And then, of course, why MailStore Server and not any of the many competitor products on the market? So what are our key features? And then for those who already know MailStore, I've got an interesting list of the new features that are now available in MailStore Server 9, quite a few improvements, some new features. And then for those who are not yet an active partner, what is your benefit of all this? And finally, as I already mentioned, I would like to talk a little bit of our Service Provider Edition product. So, why should I archive email? How many of you are satisfied with the search features of your email clients? Or think of your customers. Do they like the performance of Outlook search, Thunderbird search? Yeah? Especially if there's real large mailboxes they have to deal with? Probably not, because those searches are always carried out on the client side. They are quite slow. Full text indexing isn't always available. This is all that is available in MailStore Server. You create a central archive for all your email data from one or multiple email accounts, and you can search quickly across all of them, including full text indexing of attachments if you like. And you will be really surprised how fast search can be, even with very large mailboxes, tens of thousands of emails, tens of gigabytes, yeah, no problem with that. Make yourself independent of hosted services. A lot of people are switching over to Office 365, other hosted email archiving services. But what does that actually mean? You trust in your hosting provider that he's always available, that his infrastructure is always available, no network outages. And if you have a look at Amazon Web Services or Office 365, I don't know actually how it is today, but a year back there was a good joke I heard on an open source conference, and there was some guy talking about cloud services, and he said in the end, and always remember, the cloud is just a small place in Ireland, because the 2 big data centers for Amazon Web Services and Office 365 are actually located in only 2 data centers in the Dublin area for our European customers. I think this is going to change in the future, but you see, people think of the big cloud, never fails, no outages at all. That is not always the truth. Yeah? So if you have an on-premise backup of your email data that is available in an on-premise email archiving solution, and there is an outage at your hosting provider, you can still access all your email data. You can continue your work. You have access to your resources. Yeah? Reduce IT costs. MailStore is a great tool for end-user self-service, yeah? Searching email, restoring email. If they deleted something from their mailbox, they can restore it on their own. There is no need to call the IT department. Hey guys, can you restore a backup of this email? It's very important to me, and please hurry up. And so this will not going to happen because it's easy to use. It can integrate perfectly into an Outlook environment. It doesn't matter if it's connected to Exchange or MDaemon. Yeah, so you have this kind of self-service. And then, of course, as you can archive messages from the mail server and let MailStore delete them on the mail server, you can reduce the amount of disk space and resources used by the email server. Especially those who are administrators of Microsoft Exchange servers know that the bigger the Exchange databases get, the more problems you run into. Problems with backups, problems with restores, problems with whatever, more resources needed. Yeah? It's really hard to scale out Exchange. So you can reduce the resources used by moving everything into the archive. I think the term single instance store, ever heard of that? Okay. Exchange had this feature in the past, but it just moved away. With 2007, it was available through a registry hack, and since 2010, it's no longer available. Yeah? So if you have a large attachment forwarded to a couple of people, 10 times a 10 megabyte attachment will use 100 megabyte of disk space. If you archive all that messages into MailStore, it will just take 10 megabyte of disk space, and it's also compressed, so even not quite 10 megabyte. So you can save a lot of disk space with that as well. Yeah? Just to give you a few examples. And then depending on in which country you're in or in which industry, there may be laws or other regulations that tell your customers you have to archive email because we might send out an auditor who wants to check everything, all the communication you and your customers have or internally. So we have also great e-discovery features available in MailStore. And then one thing I hear nearly every day, customers with PST files distributed all across their network on every client. Who doesn't know that? Yeah? So MailStore helps you to get rid of this old problem. Yeah? Plan a project with your customer, tell them in 3 months you will have no more PST files distributed, you will have all your data put together in a central archive and gain back control over your email data. That is something MailStore can do for you. So why especially MailStore? Yeah, it's version 9, so it's a major product. It's well tested. Well tested means at the moment we have over 23,000. That figure is already not the most recent one. We have over 23,000 happy customers around the world. Nearly in every country where there's internet, there is at least one MailStore installation. It gets regular certification to comply with at least the laws we have in Germany for email archiving. And anyone who knows Germany knows we are very good in making laws, yeah? Setting up laws, setting up rules for everything. I think that's what we are also world famous for, and of course also for soccer, but okay. Sorry guys, sorry, I had to do this. Yeah, so if something is compliant with German laws in terms of email archiving, this will probably mean that it's compliant with many other regulations around the world, 703 and all that is available there, what's important. Then it's easy to use in the setup. Everyone who tried to install it and get it running knows archiving emails from a single mailbox account doesn't take more than 12 minutes. That's what we say on our website. I'm not going to prove this today. We have a little live demo later on. But if you like, I can show you or figure it out on your own. We have free trial licenses, so it's really easy to set up for single mailbox archiving. If you want to do more exchange journaling, multi-mailbox archiving, that's not much more complicated, but may require some pre-configuration of the mail system. Low-cost minimal system requirements. Yeah. Our system requirements aren't that big. We do not have many dependencies on other type of software. You just need a Windows operating system. Depending on the customer size, you can even run it on a Windows desktop operating system. So no high licensing cost there. And we also do not rely on Microsoft SQL Server. We have our own integrated storage technology that is partially based on Firebird embedded database. That is also a strong, robust, and major kind of database, and also the embedded version. And we don't use IIS, although we have a web server, but that is also fully integrated in our product. So you have one product, one installation, and after that, everything is working. No more need to deal with other software. We are not specialized in any kind of email server. We have, of course, a majority of customers with Microsoft Exchange servers. We have a huge group of people, MDaemon Mail Server. We also have support, great support, first-class support, that's how we call it, for iSwap and Kerio server. But in general, we support any email server that speaks IMAP or POP3. Yeah. And finally, one thing that is important if you ever had a customer who was disappointed by his whole email archiving solution. No, maybe someone can confirm how hard it is to export email from other archiving solutions. No, is there someone who can confirm this? Yeah, okay, see, okay, good. So with MailStore, it's really easy. Not only is archiving a big part of the software, but also exporting. You can export into PST files, okay, but that is more or less a proprietary format. You can export the whole archive back into EML, MSG files if you like. You can export directly back into mailboxes or into certain mail clients. Yeah? So a lot of features around exporting. If you want to, I don't hope that you ever have to, but if a customer wants to migrate to a different product, the easiest way would be archiving, exporting everything into EML files, so you have plain text files on your hard disk, one for each email. That is just the most compatible format that is available. Okay, and if those arguments weren't enough, maybe a few of our reference customers can show you that it's a great product and they trust in us. Yeah? So maybe this is convincing you. And now what's new in MailStore Server 9? We have a more powerful message list. That means if you have an email folder, in the past it was like there are 10,000 emails in one folder and MailStore worked, yes, but scrolling through the list wasn't that perfect. We improved that. Now the message list can be used for folders with hundreds, thousands of messages. Actually, it doesn't matter how big it is. Just a small improvement, but for a lot of customers that use our product for years now, this is an important change. An improved email preview. That means we have HTML preview now available in the Outlook add-in in MailStore Web Access. In all old versions, there was only a text preview of HTML email. People asked a lot for, hey, we want to see the messages with all the images in it. So we did the same as we had already for the MailStore client software. We have HTML preview. If there are images linked to other web resources, they will not be automatically loaded, but like in any other email client software, you can click on a notification that says, okay, download me all the images and insert them here so that the message looks like in the original. Then we have an auto update of MailStore client. That is really good feature, an awesome feature for environments where you don't have a GPO, a group policy, an Active Directory to deploy software. So you only have to deploy MailStore client software once to the machines. And as soon as the user logs in, the client asks the server whether it's a new version. And if there is a new version, the client will automatically update itself to be on the same version, on the same level as the server. And that makes the life of administrators quite easy. Then we have an integrated scheduler. And in the past, you create an archiving profile. That is what you do in MailStore. You create an archiving profile, and the archiving profile contains the information from where to archive, what kind of messages to archive, and more or less direct or indirectly where exactly to store those messages. But the archiving profiles do not contain information how often to search for a new email. That is something we now integrated for server-side profiles. So if MailStore should archive directly from mailboxes, it doesn't matter if it's single mailbox, journal mailbox, or multiple mailboxes, the MailStore server will continuously execute these archiving profiles to search for a new email. Yeah? So it's a much more convenient way of creating archiving profiles. And then one of the things I like most about MailStore Server 9 is the dramatic improvement of performance. So this shows me that we had 900,000 messages stored in 148 IMAP mailboxes. And MailStore has to go through all that email messages again and figure out, do I know this message already or do I have to archive that message? Yeah? So it has to compare everything. And in version 8, it took about, I can't read it here on the screen, about 35 minutes. Yeah, that's about here, 35 minutes. And with version 8, we brought it down to about 8 minutes and a half. Yeah? So a dramatically increase of performance to check for a new email. Archiving itself doesn't take that long. It's downloading the message, running through a full text index engine, and then store it in the database. That's just a matter of a few seconds. But comparing all those messages just is a lot of time. Honestly, this 1800 message per second is also an old value. With version 9.02, I think it was, we even improved the small thing, and we got up to 2,100 emails per second that are now verified. So another good improvement that. And of course, much more smaller features. we improved. And yeah, maybe I can show you a quick live demo here. There's enough time left for that. Of the user interface. Maybe for those of you who have never seen the software, this is the administrator's dashboard. On the right side, you have a few information about the server itself, about some important settings regarding compliance feature. Of course, we have a lot of compliance features like blocking the email preview for an admin user or the retention policy so that no messages can be deleted before they have stayed in the archive for at least a couple of years. Then, as I said, everything is based on archiving profiles. This would be the section where new archiving profiles can be created, where existing archiving profiles can be managed. And on the right side, you see some settings. In this case, I'm archiving from an Exchange server. And I already did that, so I just executed another time. And now it's going through 50 mailboxes, comparing the content, and if there is something new to archive. With only 5 threads, you can use up to 25 threads, which means 25 mailboxes at the same time can be compared and searched for new email. Yeah. And that's just, okay, 5,800 is not that much, but everyone who has seen MailStore 8 before might say, oh, wow, this was fast. Just to give you an idea. Okay, then we have got here the message preview. I just go into one of the mailboxes, have a look at this. It's an HTML message, unfortunately on such a small resolution. It's a little bit hard, okay. And the images are no longer available on the internet. Good, this is MailStore Client. We had HTML preview for years in MailStore Client, but we didn't have that in Outlook add-in. So let me quickly switch over to the Outlook add-in, open an HTML message here. I go to MailStore, browse archive. Yes, I know I'm using the self-signed certificate. Thank you. Go into the mailbox and you see this is a simple HTML message with a few formattings, but they show up here, and it even works with more complex messages. Unfortunately, no internet connection at the moment, or no longer on the server, but just trust me, if the messages are available, they would show up right in here. I think people who have seen MailStore before know the difference. Okay, if you want to see more, feel invited to come over to our counter and ask questions, ask for more live demo. I can also do a little demo about the Service Provider Edition. But first of all, let's answer the question, why become a partner? We have excellent price discounts. We offer, or our channel and Zen Software offers training courses and certifications. And for partners, we have free NFR license, so you can make yourself comfortable with the software, learn every bit of the software, and implement it on your customer side. And by going through training courses and certification, you will also be on our MailStore partner locator, depending on the partner level you have reached with certification and certain amount of sales. So people, customers who are interested in email archiving that might find our website may see, okay, there is someone nearby, maybe they are experts, they come over, and that's where the partner locator is for. Okay, service provider. I told you that we also have a product that was launched at the beginning of this year, and it's called the MailStore Service Provider Edition. And it's also a software solution that runs on a Windows operating system. It runs on Windows 2008 R2 and all newer versions of Windows Server operating system, 64-bit. It also has no other dependencies to IIS. Actually, we recommend to install it just on a plain Windows server. Don't install it on Windows Web Server, IIS installed, because you may run into problems with ports are being used already. As you can install multiple of those servers and administrate them centrally, you can freely scale out with more customers, more servers you like, depending on your resource planning. It really grows with your business, with your email archiving business, and with every new customer. The big difference between MailStore Server and the MailStore Service Provider Edition is that technically, you run multiple instances of a MailStore server on one Windows platform. That is something that is absolutely not possible with MailStore Server, but with MailStore Service Provider Edition, that is possible. And from that, you can also conclude that an instance running in the MailStore Service Provider Edition is very similar to a MailStore server. You have about 95 to 98% of all the features that are available in MailStore Server also available in the Service Provider Edition product. All export capabilities, all archiving methods, everything you know from MailStore Server. So that means you can add email archiving quite easily to your already existing service portfolio. You have email security services, you have email hosting services, and now you can add also email archiving services to help customers be compliant with laws, with regulation. Maybe MailStore also helps you to more efficiently use your whole infrastructure to save money on very expensive storage. MailStore can do all that for you. Okay, and then, of course, from that you have a convenient chance of cross-selling different products as well. Think about on-premise email servers with an online email archiving solution. So customers have the feeling, okay, I have a backup of my email data that is stored in a data center I know because I know the service provider. Or the other way around, you have customers with online email services that you offer. Maybe you offer Exchange or hosted MDaemon servers. And you can go to your customer and say, okay, I can add this service as well. Okay, as I said, if you would like to know more, feel invited to come over and ask